Hello, welcome to day 19 of our 90-day run social media accelerator. So today we learned and we touched on a little bit of building connections, which we've been doing a lot, and how to turn it into community. We didn't receive a dare or the very specifics about it yet, but we touched on that. And because it's Friday, we got our 3-level dare or 3-level assignment for the week, for the weekend. So excited to share that with you. So something to consider that I've mentioned before, and just to reiterate again, as we're going through so many different strategies for social media, come 6 months from now, for example, we may or may not be doing the very same things, because the goal is to find which of these strategies really works for you and your audience, and to find like which is the best delivery system for the value that you have for your audience, and find a way to get in flow with those areas. Like maybe it is messaging people in groups and connecting there. Maybe it's responding to the messages or the comments on your posts. Maybe it's doing the surveys in the groups. Maybe it's Instagram. Maybe it's a specific platform. And it can shift from one area to the other. So the idea here is to be open and to trust the process, trust that this works, and test the strategies that work. So speaking of testing, like I said, I'm doing all of it and open to testing it. And it was interesting because yesterday's assignment, he was so excited to share it with us, the solid color with the quote on it, because it really helped him in his business, our instructor, Fraser Brooks. It had the opposite for me. Like, it was just very few views and no engagement at all, no likes or comments or responses at all. So not that it would always be the case. Perhaps it worked for him because of his specific audience. Perhaps it worked for him because he has quite a bit of following and watches already. Who knows? But for me, I tried it, and so far it's not working. So that strategy is not one that I'll probably spend a lot more time on. But I am finding a lot of engagement. In fact, I'm even finding, yesterday I actually took some time to kind of stop with the engagement of the new people and to really service my current customers, because I found I was falling behind in that. And fortunately, it wasn't huge. It was like maybe like an extra week went by, but it was great because I caught up on a bunch of people and they were having great success with the products, and I have a few interested in running in the business, and had some enrollments flowing in. So there's a lot happening in my actual business. So I think that's part of the process too, is learn where to balance all of it, and to always do a lot of connecting with new people, so that the flow of communication and new people coming in never stops, and eventually growing our social media such that the requests coming in are substantial, more that require less of our action going out, so that we can take care of the people and the customers coming in. And of course, doing the business coaching, which is my favorite part, is helping people earn an income. That's why I'm investing in this class. And I've had actually a couple of people recently, just local friends of mine, not financially linked yet, but also with businesses, just curious about my social media, because they say, we know that you are promoting these products, these wellness products, but we see you posting about business. Are you a business coach? And I said, well, basically, yeah, I am. But like, unlike your platform where you are charging people to coach, I don't do that. Not that I never will, but I don't. But I invest in myself through these classes and personal development. And basically, if you're my customer, you get me for free. And so that's the case if you're watching. If you want personal coaching with me, the way to do that is become my product customer. So you can click on the links in my profile and find me in other ways, or just reach out and we can connect. But that is what I love. I love this sweet spot. So I'm learning so much, and I love this social media strategy for my own business. And also, part of the reason I'm coming on this platform here, YouTube Live, and reiterating it, is so I can learn it and share it and make it available to my team, and of course the world, because whoever wants to watch this can, obviously. So let's dive in. Just a reminder that he said to be accountable. We in the class are tracking our content, growing our list, asking the question, following up our new customer orders and new distributor orders. So those columns are all filling up. And so each week we're reporting those. So always be accountable. If you're on my team, share those numbers with me and we'll run together. But I'm going to start out by giving the dare. So the dare is actually to create 3 pieces of short form content. So basically a reel, or here on YouTube it's called shorts, right? Or TikTok videos, so those short reels, and then create it on one platform and put it on all the other platforms that you're on. So for example, he recommends creating it on Instagram and then repurposing it on, Facebook, TikTok, or YouTube if you're there. And if you're not on those platforms already. Don't spend time at this moment creating accounts just to do that, but produce it and then repurpose it on all of them. So and do them specifically with a strong call to action. And guidance around that is, first of all, to make sure it's one call to action, not like me for more and follow this and comment and this, one at a time. Any of those are great, but just one at a time. You want to make it as simple as possible. So the call to action should be for a comment or a follow or a message. And I could say you could also do a share because that's pretty powerful. But anyway, the specific assignment, so you have it, is to have a strong call to action to comment or follow or message. So for example, if you like this content, you'll love what I share tomorrow, so be sure to follow me. If you like this message, comment the word fire. But you don't want to put both of those in the same one. So do 3 pieces of content, 3 separate reels, and have a strong call to action on each. The double dare is simply to do it without any further guidance, without, like, a few days ago we did a reel where we were to do a few seconds here and a few seconds at different angles and then do 3 reasons or three of something. So the double dare is to practice our own marketing mind. And that doesn't necessarily mean even creating it ourselves, which if somebody's super creative and you can do that, great. But I'm the type, I like to get inspiration from other people and other leaders. So what he suggests and what I would suggest to you and what I'm going to do is to go into the accounts or go watch the reels of other people who are in your company. If you're network marketing, look at some of the leaders who you admire and you enjoy their reels and get ideas from their reels. And then you can actually from there use the audio and recreate it yourself. Which actually helps. And something he pointed out, which is really interesting. We go through school, we learn, don't copy, right? Because we're not going to cheat. But on social media and reels, actually, if you, in a sense, copy someone, and I'm not saying like post, copy, and paste, because that bugs me to pieces. When I spend a lot of time putting a post together and people like copy and paste my authentic story stuff, right? But this is for reels. Like if you watch somebody's reel and you like it and you want to recreate it yourself, you can click on the audio and reuse the audio and then again create your own version of the reel using the same audio. It actually helps to boost theirs in the algorithm to other people, and it helps you as well. So it's a win-win on social media reels when you find one and you model it. So the double dare is to learn to model well. So find other leaders in your profession, in your company, and model one of their reels, 3 of them specifically, or 6 or 9. And that is the 3-level challenge for the weekend. So level 1 is to do 3 reels this weekend. Level 2 is to do 6. And level 3 is to do 9. So basically it's 3 a day, starting today, Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday if you're doing the level 3. And again, it's not just on the original platform, it's to use each one on the other. So if you are on all the platforms, for example, Facebook and TikTok and YouTube and Instagram, and you're doing 9 reels, that's potentially 36 pieces of content that are going out, which is exciting. So I'm not on TikTok, so I have Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, but I am also on LinkedIn. He rarely mentions that. So I will probably get 36 pieces of content out this weekend when I'm doing 3 a day of the reels. Now, another thing that I've kind of done naturally and we learned is actually very strategic and important is that when you're doing multiple posts and reels, to leave a gap in time when you're posting them so that your posts are not competing with each other. Stories is different. You can do stories back to back. Those are the ones that go up for 24 hours and leave. But if you put one of these reels up, for example, a 3-hour gap is really valuable before putting the next one up, because rarely, when you're scrolling Facebook or even Instagram, will you see, 2 or 3 posts in a row from the same person, even if they posted it back to back. And so if you put out posts too rapidly, you're competing with yourself, but you want your audience to be able to capture each one. So 3 hours is a good gap. Any post that you do in groups is separate from this. So you can do, the private groups, that's to a partial audience, that's separate. You can post them as much as you want. But the ones that are on your public profile for all to see, you want to space them out at least 3 hours or so. That way you don't compete with yourself in the newsfeed. Okay, and then a touch on the community and connection thing. So this is, like I said, he didn't give us a lot of assignments or specifics about it, but here's the idea. So what we're doing right now, here's my little diagram, is we are building connections. So this is, for example, you in the middle, and then these are the people that we are connecting with, and the communication goes two ways. So this is maybe back and forth in Messenger or even in commenting, but that can expand into community. But basically, it's one-to-one, and you're the one providing content. And this is important because this is where it starts, and this is kind of where we are at now. But then what can start to happen is that your content goes out and through your comments, through messaging, through new friends and followers that we're making on social media, we start to ask a question. And that question can be, if you like this content, then you're really going to love the community I have. It's a free community where everyone who enjoys this content engages together. And then what happens is that not only are the communications going this way, but people can start going back and forth where you are still the leader, right? You are still the influencer leader, the charismatic leader, but now there's this full community. They feel even more bonded to it. So that is really exciting. Now, when he first started talking, and that creates community, right? When it's starting to go from connection to community. I instantly, in my mind, was thinking about Facebook groups because I have several Facebook groups, and they typically work for creating the sense of community. But the challenge with that is that you don't own it. Like, honestly, at any point, if Zuckerberg wanted to, he could shut it down, and then there goes the group, right? So it is an option. But for Fraser, who's our teacher, he puts that at the bottom of his preferred list. So other options could be on Telegram, on WhatsApp, or even an email list, which is a little challenging to think of it and in that circular sense, because it's just you between them on an email list, but it is a way to create community. So I suspect he's going to share more with that, but that's a great introduction to what we're doing right now is starting to make those connections, but the goal is to create a community, and that becomes our brand. So the bigger the community, the stronger the brand. So that's the big picture of where we're going with this. That was the end of his actual training. He did have Q&A. To be honest, I haven't always stuck onto the Q&A because they've gone a full hour and a half. So I didn't stay. It's still going on right now, I believe. But I did capture just a few of the first things, especially because the very first question had to do with LinkedIn. And like I was just sharing with you, a lot of my traction is going on LinkedIn. I've gotten several enrollments and new connections there, and I'm repurposing some of my content over there. And so because the question was that, he addressed it for the first time, which is great. So one of the differences is, and as he was speaking, I agree, is that the people over there don't like to waste time. So we're talking a lot about connection, asking questions. Eventually, like I think my personality is more to get to the point quickly. Like the reason I'm reaching out is because I can see from your profile, I think you'd be amazing at this. Would you be open to me sharing some information? Like initiating that from the beginning. And LinkedIn especially, you want to do that. And I've noticed with my posts, when I do before and after posts or testimony posts or transformation, it's well received over there on LinkedIn, especially more than Instagram and Facebook, where there's much more lifestyle posts, which are important for building your brand here. But the script that he recommended, or the idea when messaging people, is, for example, to find a business owner, like find somebody who owns a spa or a restaurant or a salon or any sort of business, and then find a testimony within your own business or your company where you've helped somebody like that. So for example, you follow the same format that we've learned in our messaging where you're saying hi and their name, and then you say how you found them, right? It's like on Facebook, it's groups. In this instance, like, hi, Bill, I found you by searching for restaurant owners in the city, in Savannah, for example. I'm partnered with a system where we can help restaurants like yours create an additional stream of income. I'd love to show you the system that we use that's allowed us to do that. Would you be open to me sending you some information? That's an example of a LinkedIn script. So that's the LinkedIn script. So I was thankful to get that. And then for just one more thing, and I think this applies, and this is important, and this can creep in. I think I've subdued it anyway, just from experience and being willing to go through the process. But whenever we're messaging people, it can feel like it's spammy, right? But the thing is, what we feel or what we expect or what we think is often what we create. So there's two ways to get around it. that were recommended and that I totally agree with. One is just to recognize as part of the process, right? And some people might perceive you as being spammy, but honestly, in our own intention, excuse me, in our own hearts, when we know that we are providing some people a service and a huge opportunity, then we can get over that. The other way is to do what I alluded to just before and bring it up earlier in the conversation. Be upfront. Hey, I've loved our conversation. To be honest, the reason I reached out is because from your profile, I see you'd be amazing at this. I'd love to share information. I don't just want to send you a link and be spammy, but I'd love to ask your permission to send you information if you'd be open to looking at it. So that's the way to get out of that spammy feel. But in reality, it's fun to meet new friends. It's so fun to meet new friends, whether it's in person or on social media. But good luck this weekend. So I will be back on the Facebook Live, or I'm sorry, this is YouTube Live on Monday with our next class. So good luck this weekend.